Hey everybody, Andy here for What Culture Wrestling. A bit of a rough video here, as you can tell from the fact that I'm doing this in my living room, shooting on my phone with no fancy editing or anything like that. But I did want to jump on to the channel tonight and talk to you guys about the WWE releases that have been going on throughout today, continuing into this evening time zone here in the UK. We started earlier, myself and Phil jumped on the channel and we spoke about Mustafa Ali's release from WWE. Of course, he tweeted that him and WWE were no longer working together. And it seems like that was the first of a few because we've had 8 more names confirmed since then. Some of these people have confirmed this themselves on social media. Others have been confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. I'll run through the list of names here. Obviously, we have Mustafa Ali from earlier on. We have Emma, gone from WWE, Aaliyah, Top Dollar, Riddick Moss, Rick Books, Elias, Shelton Benjamin. And the biggest name on this list so far is Dolph Ziggler. Now, big question on a lot of people's minds at the moment is that the end? Are those the last of this round of releases, or are more coming? Brian Alvarez reported earlier on that internally people within WWE expect NXT or Performance Center cuts around about 5 p.m. Eastern time today, about 10 p.m. UK time. So around about the time this video is publishing, actually. If those come through, we will cover it on tomorrow's news video with myself and Adam Wilborn. Obviously, release days are sad occasions across the board. They always are. We've not had big batches of notable main roster names in a while being let go at once, which is very fortunate. But this, of course, comes on a week, actually on a day, within a few hours, of WB announcing a new $1.4 billion TV deal with USA Network for SmackDown. So, obviously, we're 1 week removed from the Endeavor takeover being finalized as well. We had a backstage meeting in WWE earlier this week with Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, Triple H, a bunch of other people. All kinds of things going on in that company, which, by the way, is more profitable than ever before at any other point in its history. And it's cutting wrestlers all over the place. So there's a couple of good reports here from Fightful Select that I'm going to talk about and go through, share a few of my thoughts on what's happened today. Fightful noting on top of Brian Alvarez that PC cuts are expected later today as well. They note that there's some frustration amongst members of the roster that these cuts have happened when WWE have just announced that new SmackDown deal for over $1 billion. Fair. One top star commented that the people on the list barely had a chance, considering that they weren't booked in the company, and they called this like a circle that can't be escaped. There's some other stuff you're talking about, like people who think this was designed to like offset the fall in the stock value of the company, which has taken a drop since the SmackDown deal was announced. It's noted that most of the wrestlers here were on the 90-day non-compete clauses, which is standard for main roster talent. You expect that. So it'll be a while before we are able to see the majority of these names show up in other promotions. So hang fire on the fantasy booking for now. Another report here from Fightful, just talking about Mustafa Ali's situation. They believe that his deal with WWE was up sometime in spring or summer next year. He, of course, asked for his release from WWE in 2021. People within NXT that Fightful have spoken to, and remember, Ali's been on NXT recently, they had no knowledge and of his impending release. And they noted as well that he'd actually worked through an injury Ali had to make this run happen. Elias, he's not been on TV in ages, and a lot of people have been speculating on his status, which is, is what it is. He's not been injured, according to Fightful, and apparently he's been pitching ideas to come back on television up until about a month ago. And he's gone from the company now. Riddick Moss, noted here, he was a favourite of Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman was running SmackDown. He was somebody that Paul Heyman felt he could bring up to a main event level, but this view wasn't shared by others in the company, and as a result, Riddick Moss struggled to get booked, and he's out of the company now as well. I will say Riddick Moss has been kind of having fun with this on Twitter, so fair play to him for taking the mick out of what must be a difficult time for him, of course. But it's fun when people are able to take these things in good spirits and everything else. The biggest name on the list, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, is Dolph Ziggler. He's a former world champion in WWE. He's someone who he's been in the company for the guts of 20 years, if not 20 years in total. Somebody that for a long time, a lot of people would consider the most underutilized dude in the company. That's definitely cooled off in recent years. Not to, say that Dolph has fallen off or anything like that, but the clamour for him to be pushed has definitely quieted down over the years as things have progressed. And as people kind of realized that he wasn't going to be the franchise player that a lot of people wanted him to be, and a lot of people thought he could be. Tremendous bumper and seller, of course. He's had a good WWE run for sure. Could he have done more? Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't think that Dolph Ziggler, if he wants to continue in professional wrestling, I don't think he's going to struggle for work at all. I don't think any of these people are, to be honest. But Dolph with that tenure, I think there'll be an army of companies waiting to snap him up and take him off the free agency market if he wants to continue in wrestling. He's been in stand-up comedy, some other bits and pieces, so maybe he's got his eye on other things. He's also a guy who is, when we think about like PC cuts and NXT cuts, like younger wrestlers who've not had these longer careers, who've maybe not making that same amount of money, you'd hope that Dolph has a nice financial cushion to where he's hopefully not going to struggle coming out of this. Same for all of them, of course. You don't want anyone to struggle, but you'd hope he'd be in that position. He's a former world champion. He's headline pay-per-views. Shelton Benjamin, another one, like who years and years and years, very underrated guy. Superb pro wrestler. In his first run with the company, he went away. He went to New Japan and was excellent as Shelton X Benjamin for a long time. He came back. He had some fun spots here and there, but he was never consistently used outside the odd tag team or the Hurt Business stable or working with Chad Gable or whatever. Nonetheless, a really reliable veteran. Probably a tremendous guy to have on the roster. Elias hadn't been on TV for ages. Rick Brooks obviously got injured last year. He'd come back, but he wasn't on Raw or SmackDown with any great deal of consistency. I just keep going through the list. The same could be said for Riddick Moss. Not a featured guy. Talented guy, very explosive, very athletic. Beyond that Emma storyline, not really used a lot. Top Dollar let go here. There's no word on his Hit Row stablemates, B-Fab and Ashanti the Adonis. Obviously, we hope that they have kept their jobs following this line of bloodletting. Mustafa Ali, we talked about earlier. Aaliyah, another one who'd had some injuries recently, but she'd been in the WWE system for a long time, like a lot longer than people think. She had one of the longest NXT runs ever. Now she's gone from the company as well. And, Emma, she brought back just last year. The rough part of this is that they just announced the Australian show in Perth for next year, and we've all seen the tweets, I'm sure, but Emma tweeted excitement, like once in a lifetime opportunity, and then like an hour later, she was like, oh, never mind, I've been released by the company. It's a brutal day for her. For sure, it's a brutal day for all of them. And obviously, we hope there are no more cuts. We hope there aren't any more. But WWE, like Fightful noted, they haven't really been announcing these things lately. They've just kind of been at the whim of reporters and talent to announce them themselves. So there's every possibility that as I'm sitting here recording this, there are other releases that have taken place that we just don't know about yet. Hopefully not, but it's a possibility. It's a rough day across the board, particularly when you consider WWE successes. Wish all of these people all the best. Wherever they end up landing, it's been how WWE operates for a long, long time, and they are absolutely deserving of any criticism that comes their way. I think that if you are gonna, talk about how sad it is and everything else, you got to hold the company to account. And this is a promotion that's probably going to earn over $1 billion again this year. Obviously, that new TV deal is over 5 years, so it's spread out a little bit. But they're richer than God. They're richer than ever before. It's not because they need, to do this to stay afloat. That's complete nonsense. It's because they want to make more money. That's how it is. That's how it operates. It's the drive for more profit. They're cutting costs. They let a bunch of office staff go. They'll be covered, of course, as well. And now they're letting wrestlers go as well, it seems. So let's use this comment section to maybe spread a little positivity. Just, reflect on these wrestlers, Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Elias, Rick Boogs, Riddick Moss, Top Dollar, Aaliyah, Mustafa Ali, Emma. The runs they've had in WWE. Share some of your favorite moments in the comment section below and share what you want to see them do next, of course. I don't think that any of these people will have trouble staying in wrestling if that's what they want to do. And I certainly hope that for them as well. So, hey, look, thank you for your time. I'm sure we'll have more on this topic, not only tomorrow morning, but as stuff breaks. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to bed very soon. But I wanted to jump on here, talk to you about the current situation. 9 wrestlers gone from WWE, maybe more, hopefully not. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.